Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kokodash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David, reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today were known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about some comments that were made by Russian officials regarding these American Edomites. But before we get into that article, let's go and read this. This is Psalms 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall on themselves, all that see them shall flee away. So recently there was an article regarding the rocket engines which America had ordered from a Russian company, right? But that order has been placed on hold. Now, that itself is not the part that I want to focus on, but it's what one of these officials had to say in response to why they did this, right? They basically told on their American counterparts. Well, let's go and read this. It says, Russia holds delivery of rocket engines to the U.S. So it tells you here, it says, Russia has decided to stop supplying rocket engines to the United States in retaliation for their sanctions against Russia over Ukraine. Dmitry Rogozin, head of the space agency Roscosmos, said on Thursday, here's the point, in a situation like this, we can't supply the United States with the world's best rocket engines. Let them fly on something else. They're broomsticks. I don't know what, Rogozin said on state television. So, I know it may seem funny at first, but this was an underlying jab at who the American Edomites are. You see, because even though the Russians themselves are Edomites themselves, they are very different than the American or the Western powered Edomites. You see, the Western powered Edomites, the Americans, the English, the Edomites involved with NATO, they are it's very obvious when you look into their sordid history and their organizations that they are mired in Satanism and witchcraft, right? Which literally would make them witches. On the other hand, you got Russian Edomites who they have a foundation of man-made religion, right? The Orthodox Church, right? Now, yes, there's some, I'm sure there's definitely a lot of occultist Russian Edomites, but predominantly the Russian nation does not have a foundation of witchcraft, just like the American and Western powered Edomite nations do. Okay, let's read this. This is Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So the reason why these Edomites and these Russians these Russian Edomites and these American Edomites are fighting is, ultimately it's a plan of these devils themselves to bring forth chaos, so that way they can bring forth order. But in doing so, the Russians seem to have taken it personally, right? And in doing so, they've taken actions against these Western powered Edomites. What you just heard, or what we just read, is a small example of some of these truth telling, right? These Edomites telling upon themselves, right? Now, like I had said before, right, the American Edomites, namely, mostly, are the ones who are predominantly into witchcraft and sorcery and Satanism, right? When you go back through history, this is from like the 1700s. These are etchings showing how witches were always known to be flying around on brooms, and not only that, but that they would basically keep company with Satan, right? And why is that? Well, you see, Satan, just like the angels, is a power, okay? But he is a power on the left side, right? He works for the Lord, just like all the other angels. They all work for the Lord, right? But you have angels on the right side, which are righteous, and you have angels on the left side, which do abominable things, right? Because that is their job, that is their function. Well, these devils, these Edomites, the Lord hid himself from them. The left side angels have still managed to interact with these Edomites, and these Edomites interact back, right? This is why when you get to know your average everyday American Edomite, they are somehow enchanted or caught up in some sort of sorcery, witchcraft, or Satanism, be it some small Harry Potter fan, or some deep Wiccan white witch or whatever, right? This is just the lot of these people, right? They have made familiars out of these demons, right? They have made friends with the left-hand side. And why is that, right? Well, because these Edomites, the people who you would refer to today as the so-called Caucasians or the so-called white people, they are the physical representation of Satan here upon earth, okay? This is why the Bible also refers to them as the wicked, right? Job 9:24 talks about how the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? That's referring to these Edomites. This is Isaiah 4:7-12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Right? And you see, this isn't just talking about an individual Edomite who has gone through his adolescence and learning these spells, witchcraft, and powers on the left side. No, this is talking about the nation of Edom, that basically since their childhood as a nation, right? And even it goes all the way back to Cain, I'm sure. But basically when that nation was a child, they've always dabbled in the left side powers. What you're seeing here is just some images of the occultist systems that have been set up around Washington, D.C., which is the headquarters of the American political system, right? And why is there so much masonry, occultist, wizardry practice there in Washington, D.C.? Well, it's because that is the homeland, the home base of the most powerfulest witches upon the earth, right? These are your politicians. These are your leaders, your celebrities, your sports people. Everybody in Washington, D.C., with majority of people within higher realms of power within America, from Hollywood to both the sports world, to the financial system, the judicial systems, they have all, even here, look at this image here, man. You got a bunch of the boule, right, which is basically the black arm, or the so-called black arm of the Masonic order, right? And they ultimately opened this branch of Masonic order because they need useful idiots, right? People who they can never let into the inner circle, but can be useful in taming the Israelites, Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. Well, like I said, this is the sorceries that the nation of Edom has labored in from their youth, right? Which the Lord in Isaiah, basically made a statement, man, that stand now in thine enchantments, in the things that you have, worked on, the things that they have put their mind into, right? Here's Benjamin Franklin, I think, right? Look at this, man. So these guys here, man, they're straight up witches, right? And this is why the Lord has said, man, to stand now in their enchantments, the things that they have worked on and labored on, so diligently, because to see if that's going to save them when the time comes. Because you see, these Edomites, these so-called white people, they in fact will rise up against the Lord. They will fight against the one that the world calls God, right? And they're going to do it in the effort to stay in power, right? Because they understand, they know what the Bible says. They know who they are. They know who we are. They know who the Israelites truly are, and hence this is why they're doing what they're doing, right? This is why they're carrying out this agenda to bring forth the NWO, and ultimately is because they stand on the left side of power with Satan, on their broomsticks, as that cosmonaut said, man, or that Russian space agency guy said, man. This is Isaiah 28:15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehoods have we hid ourselves. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai power, behold, I lay in Zion a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, and a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. Right? And this ultimately is talking about how Yahweh set up Yahweh Shai, which is the true name of the Messiah, right? How he set him up to be the cornerstone of the temple, which is the third temple that the Lord is building, that being New Jerusalem, which is it's not a physical temple, but it is a temple made from the elect, the 1/3 of Israel, right? That being, us, the flesh and, us Israelites, right? We are, every Israelite that makes it, that is part of the elect, we are a stone within that temple, right? And the first stone, the cornerstone, the stone that sets the plummet and the level and make sure that everything is fair and square within the building, was Yahweh Shai, right? He was that tried stone, okay? And that's ultimately what the Lord has set up against these devils, man. These devils who believe in Satanism, who are witches, But let's see what it says. This is 17. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. And the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. And that's what's happening right now. The mass, flooding of the truth, right? With the videos that you're seeing now being uploaded to YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, Dailymotion, all these Israelites who are going out onto the streets that are preaching this truth, right? All of them are pushing out the truth, which is like water, and it's overflowing these hidden places like water. Okay. Verse 18, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. And that's ultimately what's going on with these witches, man, with these people in power, right? They're ultimately being revealed, right? Apostle Gabar always brings it up, man, that the power that these elites had is that they had all their doings in private. Right now, you have whistleblowers coming out, revealing what they're doing. You have the Illuminati, which, on the lips of every, Larry, Moe, and Joe, everything now is being revealed to the people, right? And people are starting to realize that these devils, that they really are doing this, that it's not a joke, and that they're ultimately, taking steps to stop these devils, man, from protesting to just not, going along with the plan. But ultimately, this is the will of the Lord, right? Because what does the Lord say? When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it, right? And that overflowing scourge is ultimately talking about the nuclear missiles, right? The lake of fire, which will be the result of the World War III, which is now in front of our eyes being built up, and will eventually culminate into a nuclear all-out war. Okay, which if you're not in this truth, if you've not been, given that mark of exemption from judgment, right, then salvation is not for you, and you're going to experience that, right? That death by pain, as the scriptures have said. So, hopefully, this article, even though it was a small joke made by a Russian businessman, hopefully it opened your eyes to give you a bit of truth of what these devils are doing, man. Right now that that they're starting to fight and they're starting to reveal who each other are. So hopefully this video was edifying, Akim. Until the next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kokodash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.